I think we are live. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a great Tuesday. We're at the end of April. It's crazy to think about. And it's a big day because, well, it's actually a big week because this week is CinemaCon. If you don't know what CinemaCon is, basically it is the celebration of movies where movie theater owners get together and, news outlets, media, and they get to view the experience and what the upcoming movies for the following, I believe, next year or so. They don't do anything further in advance, but just for the next year because it's a yearly event. And so this week, a bunch of people are in Las Vegas getting together for that. I am, of course, not there, but I am here talking about it. And we're going to go through Twitter, discuss it, show all the news, and just to make sure, if you guys can let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me, let me know all that and more. And I'm excited to do this. If you guys have any questions for me, make sure to leave them in the chat. Make sure to hit that like button. And if this is your first time seeing me, subscribe. I'd love to have you on the journey with me. Road to 1,000 subscribers. Crazy to think about it, but we're almost there. So if you guys want to help me as well, make sure to share this live stream. But before we get started, I will address the chat real quick. We have The View with Drew. We have Will. What's going on? Yeah, great to be back on the live. Excellent news to share. I made 3 Lego Marvel short films recently. Well, that is awesome. I hope that they came out well, and I hope that you're proud of them. You should be proud of them. That's a really cool accomplishment. We have Jason. I am slowly putting stuff back in the spare bedroom, but I'll keep you at volume. Well, that's very cool. Well, I appreciate you just tuning in, regardless of if you're actually watching me or just listening to me. It's really is I very much so appreciate it. And we have Alex. Happy CinemaCon week. Happy CinemaCon week indeed. He also just said, I was thinking a couple days ago of when you will be live again. Yeah, it's been a little bit since I went live. But I was kind of waiting for that 900 subscriber mark, which I didn't mention yet, but briefly, I want to thank you all so much for helping me hit 900 subscribers. So it's kind of coinciding with talking about CinemaCon stuff and also just the fact that I hit 900 subscribers. So we're going to be talking, a little bit of both Q&A, sharing my thoughts on CinemaCon news, all that, good stuff. So yeah, now I'm here live. They all really did well on YouTube. Well, that's good to hear. You're talking about your short films. That's great. But I think without further ado, let's get started. Make sure again to just if you have any questions for me, put them in the live chat, and I will be checking it occasionally while I am switching back and forth. But here it is. I'm going to pull up the Discussing Film Twitter account, which is, if you guys don't have Twitter, it's the go-to account. That's where really all of us in this film circle get our notifications from. So if you have Twitter, you don't follow them, definitely go check them out. So here we have this, and I'm starting back with Sony's presentation yesterday because I feel like I want to go through that stuff, and then we will get to Warner Brothers stuff. And yes, Alex says in the chat, speaking of CinemaCon, there's people are in Caesar's Palace right now seeing The Flash. The first ever showing of The Flash, well, I guess nearly complete, because the movie is not supposedly like 100% done. I think visual effects, stuff like that is going to still be worked on for the next month and a half or so before the movie comes out. But it's crazy that the first public, viewing to general audiences, obviously theater owners and media are watching it right now. So, and Bill just says really quick, we need a CinemaCon breather to please discuss your thoughts on Paint. My quick thoughts on Paint. It's a very bad movie. There you go. All right, but let's get into this. So CinemaCon for Sony yesterday. They started off with, I guess there was a little sizzle reel of Bad Boys 4. They didn't really get to show much from what I've heard because the movie is, like this tweet says, its 4th week of shooting. So there's not much to show as of yet. And so I think they, Will Smith basically was just like, hey, here's us. We're talking about the new Bad Boys movie, and just to let you know, we are making it. So I'm sure that was cool. And then we have apparently the first movie that was fully, I guess, showcased was Dumb Money, which, if you guys don't know, is about the, like this tweet says, it's a movie about the chaos from GameStop stock skyrocketing due to Reddit, which happened, I believe, in 2020, if not 2021. Um, so that's cool that that movie's coming out later this year, I believe, and it has a stacked cast. Craig Gillespie's behind it, behind one of my favorite movies, actually, right here. Let me stop sharing. You can see this poster, Lars and the Real Girl. That was, I think, it was his first movie. So, but now he's doing Dumb Money. So I'm looking forward to that. Great cast once again. And then Paul Dano plays a YouTuber who puts all his money into GameStop. That's gonna be fun to see. Then they showed off Insidious 5. Wait, I think it's the fifth one, if not the sixth one. I actually haven't seen any Insidious movies, but if you guys have, let me know your thoughts on them. And apparently, this could be, a Sony exec says that this could be the most successful movie in the franchise. So it's pretty crazy that he thinks that it's going to go that far. But again, this is a Sony exec. He might just be boosting the movie up, so people are going to think it's really good. I'm going to go out and see it. What is next? Across the Spider-Verse. So apparently it takes place 1 year after Into the Spider-Verse, and then I believe Christopher Miller then retweeted it. I think we'll see it in a little bit. He said that it's like a year and 4 months, so something like that. But not directly after Into the Spider-Verse. So, and they showed 14 minutes of it. I think some people said 14, some people said like 17, somewhere between there. And showed snippets of new music from Metro Boomin, and it included Gwen and Miles swinging whilst Gwen tells him about all the spider people and how they have been trying to stop the multiverse from collapsing for about a month. So, we don't have any footage to actually visually look at, but we have a quick description right there. I didn't really pay too much. I don't really pay too much attention to the descriptions necessarily, because I'm gonna see the movie. So, but if you guys are interested, there's a quick snippet of the description. Then they showed Craven, which this tweet says the first footage from Craven, just Craven, not Craven the Hunter. So I don't know what the exact title of the movie is, but regardless, the movie is, I believe this is the next tweet. The movie is rated R, which sign me up for that. That's all I'm gonna say, because I think it's cool that Sony has now decided to, it's not really. I guess it is up to Sony, because they are going to decide uh, how the movie gets cut. And I'm sure while they're filming it, they're going to do a bunch of violence. But sometimes in the editing room, and then for the movie to make more money, they'll go back, cut it down to be PG-13, which is what I believe they did with Venom. I'm sure that movie was supposed to be rated R, but they actually cut it back a little bit, so it was PG-13. But Craven, it could hurt the movie actually, because then apologies if you hear my dogs, but it could hurt the movie because it might not make as much money if it was a PG-13 movie. But it's rated R, so I'm excited for that. And it revealed Aaron Taylor Johnson in the vest as he slices up a military convoy in very bloody fashion. So sign me up for that. And like this tweet says, the Rhino is going to appear in the movie, which he could could be the villain of the movie, supposedly. I don't think there was a complete confirmation according to the trailer, but I think that would be cool to see Craven and Rhino against each other. That would be awesome. And I'll just quickly address the chat. Kevin says Warner Bros. Discovery should not have shown the Flash at CinemaCon. People will spoil the movie. Well, I think it shows on one hand that they have a lot of here, let me just remove this real quick. It shows on one hand that they have a lot of confidence in the movie. They're showing it, the movie, not even complete 100% finished product. They're showing it about a month and a half early, which means that they want the buzz to get really started early, because they're kind of in an interesting position with that movie, not to get into the drama surrounding it. So you have that. I can see where you're coming from. People might spoil it. I think the people at CinemaCon, though, all the CinemaCon viewers at the actual screening right now, they're movie fans, so I think they will think about what they tweet in possibly hoping that they won't tweet anything spoilery. I know I've seen tweet that they're not going to do anything spoilery. They're going to stay far away from doing anything spoilers. So there are a lot of people out there that really care about the movie being seen with fresh eyes, I guess, not putting spoilers into context. So, I think that people are gonna not spoil a lot of it, but let's hope, fingers crossed, that happens. Have I seen 8 Mile, and if so, what are my thoughts? I have seen it. I saw it in 2020. I don't have that many thoughts on it because I honestly just don't remember it. I remember liking it, and I remember the music obviously being good. It's a music movie, but it doesn't have too much music in it. It's not like a musical or anything. Of course, has "Lose Yourself," which might be the best hype song of all time. Dumb Money seems very interesting. Test audiences were positive. Yeah, I think I heard the same thing as well. The directors are keeping some cameos in a secret for who will play the Scarlet Spider. The creators say none of the actors know. Well, I'm if you're talking about the creator of the character, I'm sure that the actors know who's playing the Scarlet Spider because on set, I don't know if you're talking about Craven or um, what's it called, Across the Spider Verse, but regardless, the actors, if it was into Across the Spider Verse, it's animated, but if you're a part of the movie, you're gonna know who's the actors that you're gonna be acting alongside. So yeah, so I don't know if they really don't know who they are, but I didn't hear that. Alessandro Nivola, he's gonna possibly play the Rhino. That would be. I'm not really familiar with that actor. And then what is my favorite movie performance from a musical artist, rapper, or singer? I might have to go with Justin Timberlake in The Social Network. If you guys haven't seen The Social Network, of course, I mean, if you haven't seen The Social Network, what are you doing? You have to go watch it. But Justin Timberlake gives an underrated performance in that movie because he kind of gets like outshined by Andrew Garfield and Jesse Eisenberg and the great other supporting characters and actors. Um, Alex says across the Spider Verse, filmmakers kept the voice actor secret for the Scott. Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're keeping it. I think I saw a discussing film tweeted about that they're keeping it a secret to audiences. So that'll be cool to find out in theaters who it was. I mean, if I can tell. Um, and this is from Ryan Smith. I discovered your channel through Film Stock's YouTube channel. Keep up the good work as well. Well, I appreciate that. Chris is a good friend of the channel, good friend of mine. And I'm glad that you found this community. And I really appreciate Chris for shouting me out the countless times that he has. He was in the Art of Self Defense in the Many Saints of Newark. I've seen the Art of Self Defense. Was he the sensei? Because I actually watched that movie this year, early January. So if he was the sensei, then I know who he is. I actually haven't seen The Social Network, but I hear Timberlake is good. He is very good in that movie, like I said. So, but let's get back to CinemaCon. We can add this. So we talked about the Rhino. They're gonna show the trailer for Craven. It's gonna debut sometime this summer, which depending on when it drops, I may or may not do a reaction to it. So look out for that. I don't know what month. I don't know what day, obviously, but depending on specific circumstances, maybe I'll be able to react to it. Then, and this is some more description of Aaron Taylor Johnson uses foot traps on enemies whilst also biting off someone's face. So if you thought this movie was violent, apparently it's even more violent than at least I thought. And it ends with, "Don't you know why they call me the Rhino?" As this actor that we might be Alessandro Nivola. He's transforming into the Rhino. So he's more so like, from what people in the audience said, we've seen other iterations of the Rhino being like a guy in a suit. This is apparently a guy literally transforming into a rhino. So, I mean, regardless, I don't really care if it's a guy in a suit or an actual rhino. So, then Gran Turismo, the first trailer was shown for that. A lot of good buzz surrounding that. I'm excited because it kind of is giving me Top Gun Maverick vibes. I think it has potential to do really well at theaters. Um, then so this is a rom-com which has slowly made its way up into my most anticipated movies of 2024, I believe, is coming out. It's called Anyone But You. Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney. Sign me up. Apparently, the descriptions of the footage that was shown, because the movie literally just finished filming, I'm pretty sure yesterday, so they didn't have time to obviously cut together a trailer. So they just kind of showed a snippet or sizzle reel of a couple scenes from the movie. And I guess people weren't saying that it was great, but I'm just here for the movie with the two leads itself. Then more buzz surrounding that, and I mean, look at these photos. They have already great chemistry. It looks like they actually really enjoy each other and each other's company. So, if you want that and two actors leading your rom-com, the key, I believe, first and foremost, is to have good chemistry, and then characters, good story, all that stuff. But the fact that they already have chemistry from a photo that at least I can tell, that's insane. Then and then I guess it ended off with Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon. They're gonna be in Ghostbusters uniform in the Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel. I'm excited for that because the first movie was great. Then this talks about the teaser for Anyone But You, and Sony CEO Tom Rothman says streaming doesn't create any movie stars, only global theatrical hits. What I really would have to think about that to actually give my full-fledged thoughts on specifically what I think about that. It doesn't create movie stars. I don't know about that because I feel like that's a whole nother conversation in and of itself. But I think Netflix movies have the ability to create movie stars. I think, like he said, streaming movies have the ability to create movie stars. I think a good movie has the ability to create movie stars, and a good performance from an actor has the ability to create a movie star. But I like what he says here. Tom Rothman says, you can see at Sony, we are not, excuse my language, fucking around, which he comes off strong. I love that. That is a great quote right there. And then they ended off the night with Napoleon, which is going to be an Apple TV Plus movie, but they, I think, license out the theatrical rights of the movie to Sony. So they're going to be distributing it in theaters before it hits Apple TV Plus. This will I'm sure, go to a bunch of festivals. But apparently the first footage was really gory, graphic, very visceral, like an epic, like the movie is basically setting itself up to be. So I think I'll need to see a trailer before I really decide if I'm excited for this movie necessarily. Obviously, haven't seen any footage of it because I wasn't there, but I'm gonna check out the movie regardless, and maybe even do a review. But I just need to see a trailer to actually get excited. Then I believe that is the end of Sony's present. That was the end of Sony's presentation. Then we're gonna move on to here's what I was talking about earlier. Technically 1 year and 4 months. So there's that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Then I'm trying to find where Warner Brothers news starts. Let's see. Apologies for the wait. Okay. We have this. So this is it starting out. Then apparently it started with execs walking out to Aqua's Barbie girl dressed in pink suits. Gotta love the Barbie representation. Obviously, if you guys don't know, my most anticipated movie of the year, sign me up. Quickly in the chat, Bill says Sydney Sweeney, though, that she's very, she's a great actress, and I think she's a very beautiful actress as well. Alex says Ghostbusters Afterlife is my most anticipated Sony film of the year. I think it might be just below, honestly, Craven for me because the description sounds great. A rated R like villain origin story sounds all good to me. So it might be, it's just neck and neck with Craven, but for me, it's up there. And Power Broker, Dumb Money in October, GameStop short squeeze. Yeah, I talked about that just a little bit earlier, and I'm excited for that movie. So let's get back to this. So Warner Brothers, apparently each of the presentations starts off with a sizzle reel, from what I've heard, and it showcases, I don't know if it's just titles as well as like a little clips from scenes. I don't know. Again, I don't know how they do it, but this tweet says that the first look at Furiosa, which is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, was shown with Anya Taylor Johnson looking the same as Charlize Theron's Furiosa. So I would guess that she would look identical as she is playing the character. That's cool. Beetlejuice 2 has been confirmed by Warner Brothers. There's been talk over the past couple weeks of rumored casting announcements. So, but there's no official word on who's going to be in it. I'm sure Michael Keaton will return and Winona Ryder. I believe, who was it that was rumored a couple weeks ago? It might have, yeah, I think it was Jenna Ortega was rumored to be Winona Ryder's daughter in the movie. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But Beetlejuice 2 confirmed to be in the works. Then we have this. I really like to hear this. David Zaslav, who the Warner Bros. Discovery CEO, he says that they have no longer any interest in doing direct to streaming movies. This is great to me as a movie fan, as a theater fan, as a theater enthusiast, whatever you want to call me, like many of you watching this live stream as well. Movie theaters belong in movie theaters. I mean, most of the time there are some exceptions. If a movie is bad, I don't really care where I see it, but the best movies they belong in theaters, at least to be seen there first. That's where you really get the experience, I feel. Excuse me. So the fact that he is dedicating, I guess, Warner Brothers Discovery from here on out, they're going to put all their movies in theaters before Max, the upcoming name change for HBO Max. So I'm glad to hear that. There's my little tangent on that. Then brief footage from Dune 2, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a second. Wonka, talk about more in a second. Furiosa, which I just briefly mentioned, and Joker 2, Folie à Deux, I believe that's how you pronounce that, was shown during the little clip, sizzle reel, whatever you want to call it. Then, I think this hasn't been announced yet, but there's a new Conjuring movie coming out called The Conjuring Last Rites. I could do without this one because the last Conjuring movie wasn't great. I don't think any of the Conjuring movies have been great since The Conjuring, but hopefully this one's good. Then we get into the Barbie stuff. I'm going to quickly take a drink of water. And Alex says, I guess I was right. Jenna Ortega was the one that was in talks to be in Beetlejuice 2. But Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie were on stage, as well as Ryan Gosling and America Ferrera. And Zaslav called Greta Gerwig, quote, one of the great writers and directors of her generation. I think I've only seen Little Women. That's the only movie of hers that I've seen. Don't remember much about it, so it didn't really stick with me. But I look forward to watching, Lady Bird, as well as her other movie. Lady Bird, Little Women. It might just be those three: Barbie, Lady Bird, and Little Women. Lewis asks, "Who's directing the Conjuring movie, though?" Is what I want to know. It could go either way. Yeah, you might be. You're onto something with that because if it is James Wan returning, which I don't think it will be, because he's just a busy man. He's probably going to do original ideas now. I don't know. I'm with you. I want to see who's directing the movie, the story that they're going to tell. Will it be, um, will it see the return of what's her name, Eden Eden something Warren, I think is her last name. Um, we'll see. And then Alex says, "Love seeing the Ken energy of Gosling appearance at CinemaCon." Yeah, I think there's a tweet coming up here. He says, "Not Dune." Well, we'll get to it in a second. David Zaslav called The Flash the best superhero movie he's ever seen. I mean, of course, he's going to say that. Technically, I mean, it's not his movie per se, but he is the big guy at Warner Brothers, so he's obviously going to talk very highly about this movie and boost it so people will go see it. Brandon quickly just says, "Honestly, I want some more original horror. 2022 gave us so much of that." Yeah, so I mean, that's another reason why I could do without The Conjuring. Go on, like you said, doing a new original idea. If you want to do a spin off, that's one thing, but you know, I agree. I think it would be good to see more original horror. Then they apparently up first was The Color Purple. These tweets are kind of all over the place, but the first thing that they showcased was The Color Purple. Haven't seen the original. Um, and I lost my train of thought. But The Color Purple, it's gonna be a musical this time around. And here's this: Ryan Gosling sported a from director Greta Gerwig T-shirt. I mean, he's just the man. I mean, I think we all can just take inspiration from him and his appreciation towards his director for one thing, but I think just towards his friends as a whole. Then, nope, we don't care about that. Not Peter Pan. First footage from The Color Purple was shown. Of course, they're going to show some footage. The official announcement of Final Destination 6. This movie was also, I believe, previously, if not announced, but rumored a couple weeks ago. So I haven't seen any Final Destination movies, but um, maybe I'll binge them before the new one comes out. Alex says, "I wonder how much hard work discussing film crews goes into making live tweets during the panel." I think they have multiple people doing it. I mean, I was the same idea came across my head today. Um, I know they have people in the auditorium, obviously watching the presentation, and I think they also have people, across maybe even the world, um, who is getting this information, who can tweet for the specific people that are in the audience, so they can just even watch the presentation. Very excited for the last voyage of the Demeter. Looks fantastic, and it had a great trailer. I actually skipped on watching the trailer because I kind of want to go in blind, but a lot of people were liking it. Gosling has a soft spot for girls, and he loves showing his representation to women. I think all people can just strive to be like that. That's a great little philosophy there. First Final Destination is perfect 90s cheese. You might like it. I'm pretty sure it's on my watch list. I think a lot of people have actually said it's like a even great horror movie. So sure, I like the concept. Barbie. Greta Gerwig said that she and Noah Baumbach got emotional, and of course they are real life partners, writing the script together. He also almost wanted to direct it by the end, but Greta Gerwig joked, saying, "quote step aside," which that's funny. Yep, here's what I was talking about. Ryan Gosling says, "I doubted my energy. I didn't see it when he got asked to join Barbie, or excuse me, Kenergy." So there's that. Um, I mean, he looks great as Ken from the images, from the quick little glimpses of a trailer, stuff like that. More info about Barbie. She says that she cried, or Greta Gerwig cried when stepping onto the Barbie set, seeing all the houses built to size for the first time. I mean, look at this image right here. I'm sure, I don't know how much of that is CG, but um, it's a great little set right there, and I can't wait to see it in the movie, actually. Then, oh, this is a cool little tidbit. Greta Gerwig says the people who made the cars in Barbie, whether they're actually, I don't know if they were real working cars or just props, but she said that they had just made the Batmobile and were psyched to bring out the pink paint to top the Batmobile design, which is funny. Ryan Gosling, his first reaction was to stepping on the Barbie set. I think I finally know what Dorothy felt like. So, of course, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Greta Gerwig says the look of Barbie was inspired by Technicolor musicals like The Wizard of Oz. So, maybe in some Wizard of Oz references in the movie. Maybe. What else? Okay, so the footage shown, like I said, I don't really care for quick little descriptions, but I'll share it regardless. Included Kate McKinnon's weird Barbie sending Margot Robbie's Barbie into the real world alongside Ken. John Cena also appears as a mermaid. I remember, I forget who tweeted about the first thing that John Cena was gonna. I think it was someone said that John Cena was a mermaid, which is just that's funny to hear. Now we move on to Wonka. Like I said, these tweets are kind of mixed up, but Hugh Grant is going to be an Oompa Loompa. I don't know if he's going to be like a tall Oompa Loompa, a short Oompa Loompa. I hope we see that trailer soon, whether it's the trailer that was shown at CinemaCon for the audience members there, or even a new trailer. I just want to see a new look at the movie. Well, actually, just a look, period, beside set photos. Then, the first trailer was shown, like I just said, including a poor Wonka who listens to his mom's advice on holding on to his dream. I like that little, what do you call it? Idea that she puts onto her son, holding on to your dreams. It's very important. Hugh Grant plays an Oompa Loompa. Here's one of the set photos that was shown plenty of times before. Timothy Chalamet said he ate too much chocolate on the set of Wonka and swam in actual chocolate. I don't know about you guys, but that kind of sounds like fun. I mean, not eating too much chocolate and making yourself sick, but swimming in chocolate. Now, the first trailer for the Meg 2 could honestly take it or leave it for me. I'm not that excited, but there was a shark, obviously the Meg, fighting. I don't know if it was fighting or just going up against a T-Rex. Or actually, I totally just ignored the tweet. The tweet says that the T-Rex was eaten by the Meg. So I don't know how they got a T-Rex in there. Maybe in this world, dinosaurs aren't, extinct. I mean, I guess the Meg isn't extinct, so we'll see. Is the Meg a dinosaur? Am I having a brain fart? I don't know. Now, the first trailer for The Nun 2, did not see the first Nun. Quote, or the tweet says it could be the scariest film out of the Conjuring universe yet. I'll believe it when I see the movie. The Nun 2 was filmed in a real abandoned church. Working on that set must have been crazy. The atmosphere, very tense, I'm sure. This is when we get to Dune 2, which was one of, if not the final presentations of the day, if I'm not wrong. Picks up immediately after the ending of the first film. I think we knew that. The day jokes that Channing is not just in dreams this time in Dune 2. Yeah, I believe from what I've heard from whether how strictly it takes the story from the novel. I don't know what it'll translate to on the big screen, but apparently she plays a much more pivotal role in the second chapter of the story. And quickly, I'm just going to address the chat as well. Hugh Grant. Oh wait, skip this one. Could you think that both Nolan films premiere the same day as a cult film? Dark Knight premiered the same day as Mamma Mia, and now Oppenheimer releasing the same day as Barbie. Yeah, I mean, is Mamma Mia a cult classic by any means? I don't think so. But I think I know what tweet you're referring to from the Film Drunk. Shout out, Film Drunk. Hugh Grant is having a renaissance right now. Yeah, he's been having, Dungeons and Dragons, Paddington 2. What else? Oh, he was in that new Guy Ritchie movie that I didn't see. Um, might be an unpopular opinion. Do not like Hugh Grant. He's been sneaking himself into every movie now. Yeah, well, speaking of a renaissance, I mean, I like him. I liked seeing him in Glass Onion. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's in Glass Onion. That's right. And in Dungeons and Dragons, he was fine. I actually haven't seen Paddington 2, but I'm trying to think of like my favorite role of his. Not one off the top of my head comes to mind. Apparently, the design of the Oompa Loompa remains the same design of the 1971 film. Cool. Timothy says his performance remains close to Wilder's imagination of the character. And I think that's a good idea. Got to be faithful to what has come before, but also doing a new little spin on it too. Meg 2 is easily the most likely film to be bad. It could be pretty bad, definitely. And After Dune was the DC presentation. Oh, yes, you're right. But we'll go back to this. Austin Butler's character in Dune 2 is going to be described as an Olympic sword master mixed with psychotic Mick Jagger. That's an incredible description. And I know Austin Butler is a fantastic actor. Obviously, if you haven't seen Elvis, go watch that movie and you will see how great of an actor he is. So, the villain of this movie, sign me up. Let's see. An action-packed war movie, whereas, the first movie had slower moments, definitely. This film is the main course. Okay, so if that was, the first movie was an appetizer, I think the fact that he says that this can be the main course, that's kind of cool. Then, 100% shot in IMAX and has all new sets. Cool. Timothy Chalamet's character, he rides a sandworm. That must have been cool to be on set. I don't know how they did that. Obviously, probably just a big prop green thing. Timothy Chalamet says the sandworm he rides is completely practical. Yep. I believe that for sure. And the first trailer, which I think I saw on Twitter, that we're supposedly supposed to be getting the trailer. It's going to be released to the general public very soon here. Movies and train studios in the chat. I'm tripping up on my words. Riding the sandworm was something that happened in the original Dune, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that, but that's cool. I think my prediction for the Universal panel tomorrow is that they may show Fast X footage and definitely Oppenheimer and probably The Exorcist with Five Nights at Freddy's. I would probably bank on the first two, definitely. The last two, I would go with probably, yeah. But I could definitely, assuming they're still on course for coming out this year, yes, for sure. Oh, and here's where we get to the Flash trailer, which I hope you can still. I'm pretty sure it's still playing for you. I don't want to. Well, I don't think I'll get copyright strikes, but just to be safe, I did not get to do a reaction to it. My quick thoughts on it: it's another great trailer. I mean, I didn't really need to watch it to be sold on the movie itself because obviously it's premiering right now as we speak. People are watching it in Las Vegas, which is really cool to think about. I'm gonna see the movie, so I didn't really need another trailer to sell me on it. But I'm so hyped for this movie. It's supposed to be, people are calling it one of the best comic book movies ever. calling it the best DC movie since The Dark Knight. Yes, a lot of these people saying these things have been people either working on the movie, a higher up at the studio that produced the movie, um, but still, even just test audiences have said that it's a great movie. So, yes, that's why I'm excited for The Flash. And those are just my quick thoughts on the trailer. There was a lot of cool moments in it, and it's just an overall great trailer. But like I said, I'm already sold. Couple images from the trailer. Austin Butler's gonna be bald and pale, still human but monstrous looking. I'm kind of picturing like that big monstrous guy from the first movie. I forget. I don't. I'm not the biggest Dune guy, so I don't remember the character's name. But he was. I remember like there was one scene where Oscar Isaac is like at that dinner table or whatever, and there's that guy on the roof above him. The guy on the roof is what I'm talking about. Alex says for focus features, we may get a little bit of Asteroid City and definitely the holdover since they premiered for theater distribution at TIFF. One person said is the best film. Then all I don't know what the final part of that says, but um, yeah, I don't know how much of focus features movies they'll do because they're gonna want to showcase. I mean, they're obviously going to want to showcase their bigger movies because I hate to say it, but those are the movies that are going to make more money at the theaters, and for theater owners that are going to want to prioritize looking at these big movies that are going to draw audiences, they will, like you said, showcase their smaller movies, like Asteroid City, The Holdovers, but and well, Tom Cruise even liked it. Yes, that is true. Tom Cruise said that I forget what he specifically said, but I heard that he called up Andy Muschietti, the director of the movie, specifically had to directly talk to him, tell him how much he loved his movie. Obviously, Tom Cruise talking about how much he loved The Flash. So if Tom Cruise if he approved of it, that must mean it's good, right? But he also could just be hyping up the movie because he has power um, and the ability to draw people to a movie. Probably first look at the Amy Winehouse biopic. Um, is that Focus? I guess if that is Focus, then yes. I'm probably a sizzle for Nosferatu. Yeah, maybe like a quick image, but of course, we won't see that. You and I, people who aren't at CinemaCon, won't see it, unfortunately. Then more images from the Flash. First footage from Aquaman 2, which is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, revealed Aquaman, who has a young baby now, and that Black Mantis attacks Atlantis with an ancient weapon named the Black Trident. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first Aquaman movie. I thought it was fun, but similar to, I forget what movie. Oh, yeah, I think it was Little Women. I said it was a movie that didn't really stick with me. Aquaman didn't really stick with me. So I'm not overly hyped by any means for the sequel, but I think apparently I saw on Twitter there were a lot of people talking about like the reception from the test screenings. The movie is apparently not good, really at all. So I'm kind of just keeping that in the back of my head. Not gonna really pay too much attention to that because hopefully Warner Bros. Has done some reshoots and worked more on the movie. Speaking of Nosferatu, did you see the trailer for the last Voyage of the Demeter? I think it looks really cool. Yeah, we actually we briefly talked about that earlier. I did not watch the trailer, trying to stay away from it to go in completely blind, but I did hear that a lot of people really liked it. And even people say that the trailer is very CGI heavy for Aquaman 2. Yeah, I mean, even the first movie was very CGI heavy, but so I expect this one to be too, if not more. Michael Shannon. Then they quickly doesn't sound like they talked much about Blue Beetle, but I'm pretty sure they showed another trailer and yeah, it sounded like the family the Blue Beetle sounded like to be a very family-centered movie. Like at its core, it's a story of a family, which I think which will hopefully mean that the movie has a lot of heart. So that's why I'm really excited for the movie. I mean, maybe not really excited, but yeah, I'm excited to see it. Um, this tweet caused a lot of controversy because Sholo Mariduena said that Blue Beetle is unique in how, quote, I think he's the only person ever to get superpowers and not want them, which that, of course, isn't really true because we've seen plenty of superheroes who did not want to get superpowers, but they got them, and then they have to decide what to do with them. And I believe we're almost getting to the end, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me here. Peter Safran says that Ezra Miller gave an amazing performance in The Flash, with Andy Muschietti adding that they are one of the best actors they have worked with. I don't want to get too much into the controversy surrounding it because I don't personally know Ezra Miller. We obviously don't know, as general movie-going fans, don't know everything about how Ezra Miller was on the set of The Flash. Of course, off the set, they have made some very poor decisions, done some very poor actions, and definitely I'm hoping that they have gotten more help as of recently, but that's not really detracting anything away from the movie for me, which I know it unfortunately might be for a lot of people. I'm just trying to focus in on the fact that this is not his movie. This is Andy Muschietti's, or I should say, excuse me, it's not their movie. It is Andy Muschietti's movie. And I don't think that people should not go see The Flash because of Ezra Miller not being maybe the greatest person. Those are just my thoughts on that. The Flash is set 30 years after Batman Returns. Nice little tidbit. And with that, apparently, let me just check this, make sure there's nothing else. Yes, I believe that was it for Warner Brothers stuff at CinemaCon. So, I'm trying to think of what they left out. I'm pretty sure I heard that there were people talking about they left out. What was it? Wait, it was a Stephen King adaptation. It was I can't. It's blanking. I'm trying to think of another movie that they left out. They left out. I don't know of anything else. I think a lot of people that were complaining that they said that Peter Safran and James Gunn were supposed to come on stage and like reveal more stuff about DC. Apparently, they might be doing that after the Flash screening. So maybe there might be even more news coming out after this live stream is even over. But the remainder of you guys in here, make sure to, if you have any more questions for me, leave them in the chat below. I will address them, and we can just chill out here for a little bit longer. And if you guys want to give your thoughts on CinemaCon stuff too, let me know in the chat as well. See where I left off. For the Disney presentation, we may get a lot of stuff for The Little Mermaid. Yes, definitely. Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Yep, for sure. And probably a little more stuff for the Marvels. I can see that. I'm trying to think. Are there any other movies? Elemental. Yeah. Those are I think those are the movies that they're going to talk about heavily for sure. And then they'll show glimpses of further movies, maybe even Snow White, which comes out earlier next year. And, maybe even Wish, the new Disney animated movie coming out this Thanksgiving, I believe. Yeah. Tomorrow, I think CinemaCon is hosting a Transformers Rise of the Beast party. I think I saw that, on the schedule. I heard rumors that they may show the full movie in a surprise screening. They didn't block out a chunk of time on the schedule for it, and people won't show up for it unless maybe I think on the schedule that they put secret screening. Obviously, people are going to show up to that, but I feel like if they would just out of nowhere just be like, "Hey, we're showing the movie too," maybe not as many people would go because they didn't even know that it would happen. So I feel like then the movie's probably still getting finishing touches done, visual effects, sound, music, whatever it may be. So maybe not a screening, but you never know. I think people are definitely talking about that, but that also could just be speculation. And we need a Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning second trailer because we haven't gotten a trailer. Yeah, it's been a year. I remember seeing Top Gun Maverick when the first trailer really just had its release. I think I saw it for the first time in theaters. Yeah, it's crazy. And they've showed that trailer probably every time. It feels like every time since I've gone to the movies, especially for IMAX. The movie's going to make so much money. And if you once again, if you guys have any more questions, leave them down below. But if not, we can wrap it up here. I once again want to thank you all for joining me, talking about CinemaCon, all the news that has been released and has come out. I want to thank you for helping me hit 900 subscribers. If you want to help me reach the big goal of 1,000, share this live stream, share it with your friends, share the channel. Make sure to give this video a like. Again, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. And in terms of what's coming up for the next, couple days for the channel, I am going to be, fingers crossed, I'm assuming nothing changes, seeing Guardians of the Galaxy on Friday. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, super excited for that. Then next Monday, I'm probably going to go, I'm pretty sure it's next Monday, another Regal mystery movie screening. Maybe that could be a good movie. And regardless of if it's a good movie or not, I'll be reviewing it, which the review will come out sometime next week. And then I believe I'm seeing a new A24 movie coming out in June next week, Past Lives. I'm seeing that, which I'm also very excited for that. And yeah, May is going to be it's going to be a good month because you have Fast and Furious 10, you have The Little Mermaid, you have what else? And then I think that's kind of it. But June, July, June and July specifically. August is an all right month, but June and July is going to be packed with movies, videos, stuff like that. So it's a great time to be a movie fan for sure. If this, CinemaCon, all the news, well, not as much news per se, but more so just information about upcoming movies. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. And of course, we have tomorrow, like Alex has been commenting about, Disney still has to present. Universal and Focus is, they're tied because they're owned by, Focus is owned by Universal. And I think and Paramount. So, yeah. And with a quick comment, just quick note, congratulations. It's 3 a.m. It's my Pippi et moment. Well, enjoy the rest of your sleep. It is thankfully not 3 a.m. my time. But yeah, well, I appreciate the congratulations, and that's going to do it for the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and look forward to all the videos coming soon within the next couple weeks and couple months. And thank you guys again. My name is Ben. People call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream or video. Thank you, and I'll see you guys soon.